these exercises, we are going to explore different aspects and dynamics of movement. We will develop a movement vocabulary which will be helpful when starting to do mime in the next section. Okay, everybody, so what we're going to do now is we're going to be exploring size. Who can give me some words to describe size? Yeah.
Enormous.
Enormous. Large. Gigantic. Beautiful, yeah.
Eensy weensy.
Okay, fantastic. So you've got lots of words that we can use to describe different sizes. So what I would like us to do is let's start tiny, tiny, tiny. Can you make yourselves as small as possible in the space? I'm going to be tapping on a drum, and what I would like you to do is to grow into something absolutely enormous, but take your time about it. And bigger, and bigger, and bigger, and huge. Let's get to huge. Take up as much space in the room as you can. Excellent. Wonderful. And now start to make it smaller, and smaller, and smaller. Small. And eventually you're going to get to tiny, teeny, tiny. Stay where you are. That's beautiful. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to think about a particular image. Okay, so you are tiny right now, as tiny as you can be. Can you be a tiny little bird? Let's see what that feels like. What's it like to be a tiny little bird? Find your feathers, find your wings. By using imagery, learners begin to play naturally with other aspects and dynamics of movement, including size, shape, weight, pace, and energy. Okay, very nice. Now, can you think about being the biggest wrestler in the world? You are a he-man of note. Yes, and you are very intimidating. And you have these enormous muscles. Fantastic. And move around the space like that. Go and show the world what you're made of. Fantastic. Do you feel how heavy you are now as you move around? And now you're a cat. You're a cat. Let's just do it with our bodies for the moment, without any sound. Let's just do it with our bodies. So what do cats do? How do they stretch? How do they lick themselves? How do they like to sleep? Okay, and a cat's quite small in comparison to a lion. So can you now become a lion? What elements are the same and what elements are different when you're now a big lion? Great. And think about how lions use their muscles. Their muscles kind of ripple in their bodies as they move, right? Yeah. Great. So what we're going to do now is we're going to build a machine together. I'm going to ask you to start. You're going to start with whatever movement you like, and then somebody's going to come in and add on to that movement. And we're slowly going to build up this machine until everybody in the group is making this one beautiful flowing machine. Here the learners are encouraged to find curved, bending, flexible, rounded and smooth shapes in creating their machine. Somebody else. Each learner has to find a space or a gap for their movement within the whole. Okay, one at a time. Good. Okay, see where you can fit in. Keep going. Encourage learners to keep the movements regular without getting faster. It's great, guys. Keep going. And let the sounds build a little bit without getting faster. Just make them a little more clearly, a little louder. Okay, lovely. Keep going. Beautiful. Keep those lines as curved as you can. and freeze. Beautiful. Okay, right, so we're going to start another machine. They will create a second machine using straight, square, rigid, and angular shapes. Learners should, where possible, use different levels. This exercise gives the learners a sense of working organically as a whole group. Great. Great, guys, and let's increase the volume. Can we now be a leaf on the breeze? Okay, so can you imagine that you're a leaf? And here the teacher encourages the learners to explore weight through images of a leaf floating on the breeze, a heavy ball, and other such imagery. Floating along in this breeze, and at some point you're going to settle down on the earth. Okay, take your time about it. Do you feel how light you are in space? Incredibly light. And eventually find a little spot to settle on and settle down gently because you're so light. Learners should be able to compare and use light and heavy movements. Imagery is used to help them explore different weights and how these affect the quality and the energy of the movement. Okay, very heavy. So can you now try and bounce as this heavy ball? Great. Just feel the difference in your body when you have all that weight. And now you're a very light ball. You're like a tennis ball, very light. So how do you jump differently when you're bouncing as a tennis ball? Beautiful. And come to standing for a moment and give yourself a little bit of space. And we're going to do a bit of digging. So let's just dig wherever you are. Dig a little bit. And this earth is quite soft. Okay? It's quite easy. So there you go. Mimed activities such as digging can be used to explore different weight dynamics. Good. And now we reach a really hard bit. And try and get the spade into that earth. It's really tough going now. Do you feel how you're having to use more weight in your arms in order to really get that soil out of there? Exploring contrasting imagery helps learners to differentiate between physical sensations. And let's go back to being very, very light. Let's imagine that we're a helium balloon. You know those balloons that are filled with gas? So they just float up into the air. Okay, so again, you're floating along on a breeze. Any little breeze that comes along, it's going to affect you. We're going to start a journey. And this journey is going to take us over many different kinds of lands. And right now, you are lying on sand. So just feel Here the teacher takes the learners through a number of different experiences, which allow for exploration of all the senses, while also exploring different movement dynamics. Very soft, fine the learners sand. Explore various sizes, weights, rhythms, and energies through these journeys. Roll a little bit in the sand. Feel how soft it is in your body. Now the sand is getting a little hot. So you don't feel like lying in it anymore, so you want to get up. Yeah, it's a bit hot. And in fact, it's actually getting very hot. So it's getting quite hard to walk on. Can you try and get off the sand as fast as you possibly can? It's very, very hot under your feet. Okay, and you get to some grass. Quickly, get your feet on that grass. Oh, it feels so much better. They use their memories of things they have experienced in life in order to make the journey believable to themselves. And now start to walk over that grass. Oh, lovely and relaxed. And use the whole space. Walking over the grass. And now this grass is getting quite long. No one's been mowing here for a long time. So now you're going to have to kind of push your way through the grass a little bit. And in fact, now there's some bushes as well. And you're having to kind of push your way through the bushes. And these bushes are getting thicker and thicker, and your clothes are getting caught in them, and you're having to squeeze through, and you're having to move things out the way, move branches out of the way. It's becoming a thick forest that you're walking through now.
Encourage the learners to invest imaginatively in the journey. Providing textured details allows learners to believe fully in what they are doing.
Things because a tree's fallen over and you can't get through that way. Move the bushes out of the way. Careful you don't scratch yourselves. Goodness. Okay, and oh, great, there's a clearing. There's a clearing. Just make your way to that clearing. Push through those bushes. Make your way to the clearing. Ah, and there's a lovely little stream. Go and put your feet in the water. Oh, it's so nice to get them wet and cool again. Isn't that lovely? Give yourself a little drink of water there. As you were doing that, did you notice how you were using different sizes of movement and different weights of movement?
Always debrief the group after an exercise like this, so that they are able to gain confidence in using movement vocabulary.
You can give me an example of a time in their journey where they had to use more weight. Yeah? With the bushes, where you were pushing them out the way. Okay, so you were using more strength in your arms then. And it was much freer and lighter and easier when there were no obstacles, when you were just walking over the grass. Yeah?
It was lighter also when you were on the sand, when it became light, you needed to...
Then it became very light. It was almost like you were just trying to jump off, yes. Okay, good. And now can you slow this right down? So let's work with as slow motion as you possibly can. What does it feel like to have to push through that grass slow motion?
Here the learners repeat some of the journey in slow motion, which encourages physical control and focus.
You move with the next step, you're starting to move into those bushes, and you're now having to use your upper body as well. So you need to move things out the way. Slow motion, keep it slow. Good. Really slow. Try and move branches out the way. Now you need to duck under something. You try and do that really slowly. Even slower. Keep it as slow as you possibly can. And try climbing over something. Climb over it. Slow motion. Beautiful. Okay, and relax. What do you notice about slow motion?
It's much harder.
Much harder, isn't it? It's much harder work. Takes much slower, so the rhythm's different. It takes a lot of concentration, doesn't it? You've got to really focus. And do you feel how you're using every part of your body when you go into slow motion?
Yeah.
It's not.
You use it more because it's slower, and then you must get more detail to it.
Yeah. So there's more detail. Okay. So every part of your body is focused on that single moment of lifting your foot or whatever it is. Yes. Okay. So it takes an enormous amount of energy from your whole body. Now we're going to do an exercise with these props. Okay. We've got 3 props in the middle. So what I would like you to think about is that these things can become absolutely anything. So this might be a hat, but the only thing I'm not allowed to do with it is wear it as a hat. Okay, I can do anything else. I can make it into something else. And maybe it can become my baby. Oh, poor baby. Oh, shame. Oh, baby, baby. Oh, stop crying, stop crying. Okay? And to become something else, and then you put it down. So what we want to see is that you make it into something, we all recognize what it is, and you put it down, you move out of the circle. Is everybody clear? Okay, so
this exercise uses real props to evoke imaginative responses. It encourages clear movements and is an excellent introduction to mime.
Aha! A basket, yes, good.
Great. Let's see something else.
Learners should use each prop in a variety of different ways.
Frisbee.
Yes. A shaver, a razor. Yes, fantastic. Somebody else. Ooh, what's happening there?
Feel free to change the props in the middle of the circle when you feel that most possibilities have been exhausted.
Binoculars, great. Okay, lovely. Okay, so now what we're going to think about is using the object in a new way, but this time involving somebody else. Okay, so somebody will come into the circle, they'll start to use the object, so I'm doing this. Okay, somebody, what am I doing? Come and help me with it. Right, and we are sawing that plank. Okay, very good. So you're going to come in and help somebody use the object in a new way. All right, great. Who'd like to go first? Fantastic. We've got a bull and a matador. Very good. Okay, fantastic. What's that? Telephone.